Does Rinku Singh really deserve to be part of the India squad? With the announcement of the Asia Cup squad, a lot of people are talking about Rinku Singh's place and the absence of Shreyas Iyer. Before we even talk about Rinku Singh and his T20 career and what he's done and if he's overrated to begin with, something needs to be cleared out. Shreyas Iyer and Rinku Singh were never fighting for the same spot. Shreyas Iyer would have predominantly batted up top, and unfortunately there was no space for him. Could he have been in the reserves is a topic on its own, and that's something we could possibly talk about. But Rinku Singh being added into that squad is seen as someone who could possibly bat low middle order and possibly finish off games for the Indian team. But a lot of people lately have been questioning Rinku Singh's performance, not just for the Kolkata Knight Riders in the IPL, but also for the Indian team. Now, before we start talking about his T20 career, what's changed, and if there is an actual problem, hit that subscribe button. Now, in his T20 international career so far, Rinku Singh has played 33 games with an average of 42 and a strike rate of 161. These are, of course, impressive numbers. And then when you look at his IPL career, they continue to be decent. He's played 59 matches in the IPL, where he's had an average of 30.5 and a strike rate of 145. Again, decent numbers. But there are a couple of reasons for why Rinku Singh is currently in the limelight. It's not just because of his dip in form, but because of the way he came into the limelight to begin with. From 2021 to 2023, whenever Rinku Singh played a T20 game, and this includes the Syed Mustaq Ali and the IPL, Rinku Singh scored more than 1,500 runs across 47 innings, with an astonishing average of 56 and a very impressive strike rate of 153. Now, majority of these runs came at number 5. It's important to remember the batting position because that is also something we will get into. But even in the IPL alone, Rinku Singh at that time had great back-to-back seasons. He scored 648 runs across 21 innings with an average of 50 and a strike rate close to 150. Remember, this was a time when there wasn't an impact player rule, so he would walk into bat hoping to finish off games, and at that time, he would finish off games for KKR from impossible situations. And right, so this is when Rinku Singh, the batter, the finisher, came into the limelight. This is also when he was started to being rated a lot, and a lot of people were also talking about including him in that India squad. And unfortunately, he did miss out from the T20 World Cup squad, but that wasn't even the biggest of problems, because after all of these runs in the IPL of 2024 across 11 innings, he had an average of just 18.6 and a strike rate of 148, and his highest score across these 11 innings was just 26. Now, here's the thing, if you look at the strike rate, it still looks impressive. 148 is not bad at all, but this strike rate is also inflated because of two particular knocks. A knock of 26 of 8 and 20 not out of just 9 balls against Delhi Capitals and Rajasthan Royals respectively is why his strike rate looks to be so impressive, because if you then take off these two innings, in that entire IPL season he had a strike rate of just 127, and this is where things were starting to haunt him. Even in this year's IPL, across 11 innings he had an average of just 29, but of course with an impressive strike rate of 153. And a lot of people were starting to notice this, right? If you're the finisher of the team, especially with the reputation of Rinku Singh, this was going to be a problem sooner or later. In the IPL of 2022 and 2023, he was dismissed under the score of 61% of the time, which a lot of people might consider high, but you have to keep in mind that he is a finisher. But then when you look at his 24-25 IPLs, that is when the problems start to become a lot more bigger, because in the last two seasons of the IPL, he was dismissed 91% of the time below the score of 30. And it comes with no surprise that in this year's IPL, his highest score was just 38. And as a finisher, you would hope that you are able to finish off games, and he wasn't able to do that this year. Out of the 5 occasions where Rinku Singh batted and KKR were chasing, he wasn't able to finish off games on 4 of the occasions. But there is a caveat in all of this. There is a bit of a problem, not with Rinku Singh, but how he was managed. Because a lot of people were also talking about how Rinku Singh is coming way down the order and not getting enough time to not just settle in, but bat with actual batters to build on partnerships. Now, for the Indian team, he's usually batted at number 5 and 6, and he has extremely good averages and strike rates. He is someone who you would look at and know that he will finish off games. But when you look at Rinku Singh in this year's IPL, he batted number 6, number 7, and even number 8 at times. And the prime example of this is the highest score that I was talking about, the 38 not out of just 15 deliveries. Now, when you objectively look at it, it's a magnificent innings. With a strike rate of 253, he couldn't have done anything wrong, except he couldn't finish the game off for the team. Chasing a target of 239, Rinku Singh walks into bat at 177 for 6. Yes, at number 8. And this is also the 15.2 over mark, which means he needs 64 more runs in just 4.4 overs. Now, here's the thing. He's walking into bat and his batting partner is Andre Russell. You would expect both of them to take KKR to victory, except in the first ball of the next over, Andre Russell gets out. Now, Rinku Singh is stranded with Harshit Surana. Of course, they get a couple of boundaries, but they're not able to pull the game off for KKR. A lot of people question Rinku Singh in this game, not just because he wasn't able to get those first few balls away to boundary, but he wasn't necessarily smart in the way he was farming strike. But again, objectively, if you look at the scoreboard, he did what he could with the batter that he was and the batter that he was batting with. But unfortunately, this wasn't even the actual issue. Yes, he couldn't finish off games for KKR while chasing, but even while batting first, he wasn't able to get a significant score. In fact, every time KKR went on to lose when Rinku Singh batted, he couldn't get a score of more than 20. He only got it once, which was again his highest score of 38. But you know what is interesting? Rinku Singh is considered to be a finisher for the Kolkata Knight Riders. Now in the T20 format, if you're a finisher, you would majorly bat in the overs of 16 and 20. And interestingly enough, in this year's IPL, Rinku Singh only batted 6 times between the overs 16 and 20. And this is interesting because this is one of the lowest for a finisher in this year's IPL across teams. To give you a few examples, Namandeep and Shashank Singh have batted 11 times between the overs 16 and 20. In fact, even Pat Cummins has batted more times than Rinku Singh in the overs of 16 and 20. Now, this could be because of two reasons. One, he sent up early because there were times in this IPL where he batted number 3. Or second, the KKR management just didn't trust him enough by the end of the season because of how he was doing, not just for the Indian team in this period, but also because of how he had done in the IPL the season prior. Now, all that's an IPL conversation. Let's come back to the Indian team and let's see what he's done for the Indian team. Like I said before, across 24 innings, he has an average of 42 and a strike rate of 161. If you look at these numbers, you wouldn't even have a conversation about dropping him. Yet the conversation is going about not just before the Asia Cup squad was announced, but even after. Now, here's where things get a little more interesting and spicy for Rinku Singh and why he's getting so much criticism lately. In his first 12 games, Rinku Singh had a blistering start in the international circuit. The man was averaging 71 with a strike rate of 174. Out of the 12 innings that he batted, he was not out on 7 of the occasions. But even if you leave all of that aside, a strike rate of 174 as a finisher is insane. In this time period, he also found himself getting 2 half centuries, in which one of them was against the South Africans. But now when you come to his second half of his very short career, of course, in the 12 innings that he's played, he only averages 23 with a strike rate of 140. Now, as a finisher, these aren't the most impressive numbers to go by. But again, objectively, you just feel so bad for the man because in such a short span of career, he's not only stooped up, he's not only had a peak in a sense, but he's also been going through a rough patch. And according to us, it would have been completely unfair to drop someone like a Rinku Singh because he's already proven to score runs against the big teams. But right, we've looked at his numbers, right? We've seen how he's performed very well, but we've also seen the dip in form. And as a batter from India, the reason will really surprise you, but of course, it has to be spin. In the IPL of 2024, Rinku Singh had a strike rate of just 115 against spin. Against the fast bowlers, he had a strike rate of 160, but he only averaged 17. And most of these dismissals were back of a length slower deliveries that Rinku Singh just couldn't pick. And something else that Rinku Singh struggled against, for someone who could just pick off the fast bowlers, he was also struggling against the short ball. Against the 32 balls that he faced, which was short of a good length deliveries, he got out 4 times with a strike rate of just 100. And to show these numbers in a broader sense, from 2022 to 2024, in all T20 games that Rinku Singh has played, he averaged 44 against spin with a strike rate of 119. Not the worst, but not the best either. Against pace, however, these numbers are extraordinary. He had an average of 74 and a strike rate of 189. But since 2024, you can clearly see the problem. He averages 24 against spin and has a strike rate of 115, and even against the fast bowlers, he only averages 22, even though his strike rate is still impressive of 152. But if you're not scoring enough runs, then strike rates don't really matter. And so essentially, this is the problem with Rinku Singh. It's not the fact that he's not good enough. It's the fact that the oppositions have found him out, and like every other great player, it's what you do after that. He evidently has always had a problem against spin, but he was always capable to pick off the fast bowlers. But here we are with fast bowlers bowling a lot of slower deliveries and even rushing him with pace with the short deliveries, and him not able to find his way out of that. Now, with the Asia Cup announced, it's not a surprise that Rinku Singh is part of the squad. We all expected him to be, but for him to find a place in the 11 will be a bit of a headache with Shivam Dube, Hardik Pandya, a lot of all-rounders in the mix. But given the chance, not only will he be under pressure, but he will be scrutinized quite a bit if he doesn't perform. And sooner or later, building up to the World Cup, if and when he does get a chance and doesn't perform, it might just be closed doors for Rinku Singh. As much as it might seem harsh, This Indian team is capable of that. But before we finish off this video, let's answer those few questions. Is Rinku Singh overrated? Rinku Singh is not overrated. He's rated quite well. It's because of the starts that he's had that people have a lot more expectations from him. This season will prove the kind of batter Rinku Singh is, and if he's able to find his way out against the spinners and the fast bowlers. Should Rinku Singh have been selected in the Asia Cup? Absolutely. Should Shreyas Iyer have been picked over Rinku Singh? Definitely not. Both of them should have been part of the squad, and I'm glad one of them is. This has been a video on Rinku Singh and his struggles of late. If you have enjoyed this video, like, share and subscribe, all that good stuff. All of our links are in the description below. If you haven't followed us on our socials, do that too. Hype up this video will always allow us to get more reach with this video, and we've also started memberships. So for more curated lives and videos, join our membership. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.